Hello everyone, welcome to the When It Worked podcast. You're with your host Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Martin Salama from Brooklyn. Welcome to the show, Martin.
Thank you, Julian. I'm so excited to be here with you all the way from the other side of the world.
That's right, upside down, back to front. But we're going to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And the key to this, Martin, is that if you are not sure, you've got 3 lifelines. It's very important to use your lifelines so that you don't get knocked out straight away. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. First question for Martin. By definition, a defenestrated object has been what? Burned, frozen, exploded, or thrown out a window. A defenestrated object.
I've never heard that word before.
Well,
you got me on the first question.
If you were to guess, Martin, what would you guess?
Exploded.
Right. Well, I think we might need to use a lifeline here.
Okay, let's use a lifeline.
Shall we do a 50-50 split?
Yeah, let's do a 50-50 split. Okay.
Now, out of those, we've got frozen or thrown out a window.
Wow.
It's
all right, I'm going with thrown out a window.
All right, let's lock it in.
Lock it in.
Thrown out a window is correct. What
Great, that was my second choice all along.
It was? Well, that's good. Because, I mean, not many people think thrown out a window is a thing, but it is defenestrated, and you're still alive. Right. You've used one lifeline. Let's go to the next question. Because it is similar in texture, which of these fish is often called the poor man's lobster? Monkfish, barramundi, oyster, or salmon?
So happens to be I'm kosher, so I've never had lobster, but I do know that I think the answer is A, monkfish.
Okay, let's lock it in. No lifelines, always risky. Let's take a look. Monkfish is correct. Well done, Martin. I really have not heard of that one. I would not have been able to get that one correct. Next question. After retirement, Emeritus is traditionally added to the title of a person with which of these occupations? Accountants, professors, lawyers, or medical doctors? Which of these are called Emeritus?
Of these 4, it's the professor. B, lock it in.
Lock it in. Confident. No lifelines needed. That's correct. Well done, Martin. You're doing very well. You've only used one lifeline.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a good sign.
There are other emerituses, but for that question, it would be the professor.
Well done. Next question. As its name implies, the Guinness World Book of Records was initially published by what kind of business? A meat processor, a brewery, law firm, or construction firm? Pretty tough question.
I know the answer to this one as well, even though I don't drink, and I don't drink Guinness beer, but it is B, brewery.
Guinness, of course. Well done, Martin. You're doing very well. You've got 2 lifelines left. This is a very good sign. You could go all the way. For a 1967 Ed Sullivan Show stint, the Doors were asked to change an indecent lyric in what song? Paperback Writer, Pinball Wizard, Light My Fire, or Satisfaction?
Well, it's easy because Paperback Writer is a Beatles song. Pinball Wizard is an Elton John. Well, it's really the Who. Satisfaction is the Rolling Stone. So it's got to be Light My Fire, which I knew the answer beforehand anyway. Lock it in.
The process of elimination. Let's lock in Light My Fire. Well done, Martin. You are at the $1,000 safe mark. Light My Fire is correct. Didn't need to use a lifeline either. You got 2 lifelines left. Let's continue on. Before the names Draper and Price were added to the name of the ad agency featured on Mad Men was what? Sterling Cooper, Bluth Company, Dunder Mifflin, Vandelay Industries. Before the names Draper and Price were added, the name of the ad agency featured on Mad Men was what? Sterling Cooper, Bluth Company, Dunder Mifflin, Vandelay Industries. How are you with your TV
I've never
sitcoms?
watched Mad Men.
This
But
could-
I know Dunder Mifflin is from The Office. So we
Okay.
can knock that one out.
Scratch that.
Now, if you're an ad agency, I don't think you would go with an industries. So that would like out Vandelay, which I
Okay.
think I remember being something else. And Bluth Company doesn't sound very ad agency either. So I'm going to take a shot, not use a lifeline, and say A, Sterling Cooper.
I like the confidence, Martin. Let's lock it in. You could be correct or you could go down in flames. But you are correct. Well done. Sterling Cooper is the correct answer. And I like the process of elimination that you used there. Very good.
Thank you.
All right. Next question. Due to Spanish naming conventions, which of these artists was born with a name that was 20 words long? Rembrandt Harmazoon Van, Pablo Picasso, Jackson Pollock, or Vincent van Gogh?
Okay. So again, we have to use process of elimination. Van Gogh was not Spanish. I think he was Dutch. Okay. Jackson Pollock was American. Rembrandt was also from the Dutch or somewhere in that area. The only one with a Spanish name was Picasso. So we'll go with B.
Let's lock it in. And you know what? You got all of those nationalities correct, Martin. So very well done. And you got the question correct, most importantly. Well done.
Thank you.
Pablo Picasso.
I was nervous when I saw the question.
Wow. Well, you're locking it in without lifelines. And I think it's the way to go. You've got to have a go at these things.
Yeah.
Next question. Famous for playing a butcher, what eccentric actor has taken time off to work as a cobbler? Shia LaBeouf, Nicolas Cage, Daniel Day-Lewis, or Crispin Glover? So they're all pretty eccentric actors. Which one has taken time off to work as a cobbler? A cobbler is somebody that works on shoes, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
This is a really tough one. I could knock a few out, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to use a lifeline.
What would you knock out?
I would knock out Shia LaBeouf and Nicolas Cage.
Right. So that would leave Daniel Day-Lewis and Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover. Yeah.
Okay. So let's poll the audience.
Okay.
All right. So the question for the audience, famous for playing a butcher, what eccentric actor has taken time off to work as a cobbler? Shia LaBeouf, Nicolas Cage, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Crispin Glover. We will need probably at least 10 more votes before we can get the percentage. So send it in. Okay, they're coming in now.
All right.
Okay, so we have A, Shia LaBeouf, 21%, B, Nicolas Cage, 19%, C, Daniel Day-Lewis, 49%, clear favourite, and D, Crispin Glover, 11%. Daniel Day-Lewis.
I'm going with the audience because that was my first guess. But Crispin
interesting.
Glover threw me off.
Yeah, you never know with Crispin Glover.
I can't think of movies those two gentlemen were in, so that's why I went with Dan. I'm going to go with the audience.
Let's lock
Daniel
in
Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis. Can we trust the audience? We can. That is correct.
Yeah.
And the
And
tip
I
is...
sort of wasted a lifeline, but I needed it.
Yeah. Well, you weren't sure. And like you say, Crispin Glover, you know, he could have done anything. Very eccentric individual.
Exactly.
But always trust the audience because they tend to get it correct. Continuing on.
Yeah.
In 2012, what celebrity chef stepped forward to reveal that she had been living with type 2 diabetes for years? Julia Child, Paula Deen, Rachel Ray, or Martha Stewart? Which female celebrity chef stepped forward to say they have been living with type 2 diabetes. Now, type 2 diabetes is not the one you're born with. It's the one
Right. It's the
that
one
you
you develop
get
over time.
for being overweight. That could be a clue.
Right. Right. That could be. I would take out Martha Stewart for sure.
She's
I'm
healthy.
not sure if Julia Child was still alive in
Interesting.
2012. And if
So-
she was, so I'm leaning towards Paula Dean.
Are
So I think
you-
I'm going to lock in Paula
Lock
Dean.
it in. I like it, Martin. Let's lock it in. Paula Dean, did she have type 2 diabetes? She did. Well done, Martin. You're doing very
Thank you,
well.
thank you.
I like how you're knocking things out and you're just, honing in on an answer. You've got to just go for it.
Yeah.
All right, now we've got a Harry Potter question. This could be a problem. Due to the popularity of
It won't
Harry
be.
Potter, what word was added to the Oxford English Dictionary in 2003?
Maybe I
Diggle-
should guess before you put the answers there. Go ahead.
Diggle, bobble, wiggle, or muggle? Which word?
I knew it. I knew the answer was going to be Muggle. D, lock it in.
Wow, Martin, confident. Muggle. Is it the correct answer? Let's take a look. It is. Well done.
If it's
Martin
not,
is
if it's
at
not,
the
then there's something wrong with that company.
$32,000 safe zone. And
Great. Let me send you my bank account so that you can send me the money.
absolutely, the check will be in the mail. And Martin, in history, people that get this far have about a 50% chance of going all the way. And if you do go all the way, you'll be invited back to the champion round where we play for actual cash, but not quite $1 million, more to the region of $500. Let's
All right,
take a
cool.
look at the next question. In a famous scene from Marathon Man, Laurence Olivier tortures Dustin Hoffman repeatedly, asking him what? Is it safe? Carpe diem? You talking to me? I drink your milkshake.
Oh God, this is also a very easy one.
It's easy.
Carpe diem. Yeah, it's easy. Carpe diem is not Laurence Olivier. That is the late great Robin Williams.
Okay.
You talking to me? That is Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver.
Okay.
I drink your milkshake. I don't know what the heck that is, but it is is it safe?
Have you seen this movie, Martin?
I have. I don't remember those words, but I do. I'm picturing the scene where Laurence Olivier is pulling out Dustin Hoffman's teeth.
My goodness. All right, let's lock it in. I'm a little bit nervous for this one. Is it safe? Is correct. Well done, Martin. I'm starting to think that Martin could be the next champion of this game. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you, Julian. I'm enjoying this.
Doing very well. All right, next question. Let's see if Martin goes all the way. Because it's a synonym, which of these French words could be considered a nickname for the word nickname? Sobriquet, répété,
Oh God.
lentement, or cherche?
Oh my God.
This is tough. If you haven't done any
This is
French,
Yeah. I have I have a guess, but I think I'm going to have to use my lifeline here.
Martin, what would be your guess if you were to guess?
Sobriquet.
All right, now, Martin, I always give people a bit of a positive nudge one time in a game. And I would suggest you to lock it in.
Okay, lock it in.
That's the last bit of help I give you.
All right. The other three didn't make any sense to me. So
Sobriquet, is that the French word for nickname? It is. Well done, Martin.
and I'm very good. I'm not Googling any answers here as we go.
Okay, so I've given my hint to Martin. He's got one lifeline left. Everyone gets a hint. And you've got 3 questions to go all the way with one lifeline. I think you've got probably a 60% chance of pulling this off. All right. Covered by the Fugees in 1996's Killing Me Softly was first made famous by what singer in 1973? Aretha Franklin, Diana
Nope.
Ross, Roberta
Nope.
Flack, or Grace Jones? Who sang Killing Me Softly before the Fugees?
I don't even like the Fugees version.
You know the
I don't
original.
even like the Fugees version. And I do love Roberta Flack's version.
Martin,
So I'm locking in C, Roberta Flack.
I had no idea. Let's have a look. Is Martin correct or is he overconfident? Let's find out. Martin is correct and on fire. 2 questions to go. Well done, Martin. Honestly, I would have probably said Diana Ross for that one, but you got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. In 1948, a Chicago paper ran the famously incorrect headline, Dewey defeats Truman on the 3rd of what month? February, August, November, or March?
Ladies and gentlemen, in America, the elections are in November, the first week of November. So the 3rd of November must have been a Wednesday because it's always on the first Tuesday of the month. So I'm saying November.
Goodness me. Absolute confidence. I've got
Confidence.
no idea. Let's take
If
a look.
not, I got to move out of the country and move to Australia.
Okay, you're going to have to emigrate. If you get this wrong, let's take a look. November is correct. Martin is on fire. He has 1 lifeline left and 1 question left to get to the $1 million mark. I would have to put you at a 95% chance of going all the way now. All right, pressure's on. You got 1 lifeline. As of 2010, what daytime soap has won more daytime Emmys?
Well, it says show, but anyway, we'll go with possibly a soap, but okay.
Oh, did I say soap?
Yeah.
As of 2010, what daytime show has won more daytime Emmys than any other show in TV history? General Hospital, Oprah, Donahue, or Sesame Street? Now, don't think that soap was a tell on my behalf. It may,
No, definitely was not a tell. Definitely
Okay.
was not a tell.
Okay.
I'm going to use my lifeline because I have it, even though I have a feeling I know what the answer is.
Martin, let's hear your
But I'd rather
feeling
use
without locking it in.
I would say Sesame Street,
Right. Well,
but it could be wrong. It could be Oprah
okay.
or Donahue or General Hospital.
So
yeah, let's use the lifeline.
your final lifeline, should you wish to use it, is a 30-second window to Google it on your phone. Do you want to use that lifeline or do you want to lock in Sesame Street? Okay.
I do.
All right. Lifeline is active. You got 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right, need an answer.
It's not giving it to me.
All right, you're going to have to lock it in.
Okay.
What are you going to
I'm
lock
going
in?
to have to lock in. I'm going to have to lock in. What a terrible thing. It didn't give me the answer. I'm going to have to say Sesame Street.
All right. So did you get any help from Google or not?
No.
Okay, so you didn't have enough time to get the answer. That's one of the risks with the Google Lifeline. Martin has locked in Sesame Street. Let's take a look. Has Martin done it and gone all the way? This is the final question, I think. Whoa, Martin, that was fantastic. Sesame Street is correct. And Martin has absolutely gone all the way and qualified for the champion round. And we're going to have him back. I'll turn the music off so I don't have to shout. Well done, Martin. That was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You know, part of that was strategy, I think. Like, you were very logical with your elimination of incorrect answers. And I think that's the difference. Sometimes people freak out and they freeze, but you just kept grinding away, and you
Yeah.
got yourself a few questions that maybe you were not 100% sure of. So well done, Martin. That was fantastic.
Thank you so much. I've always been done well in trivia because you've got to look at the question to see the hints that's going to be in there. Like the one about Pablo Picasso. It was obvious it had to be somebody Spanish.
It's correct, but when you're under the pressure, people often overlook the questions, and there are often clues
Right.
in the questions, and you were able to stay
Yes.
calm in the pocket and really grind through to the correct answer. So well done, Martin. And now we're going to talk about Martin, and tell us about the Warriors L.I.F.E. life code. What is that?
So the Warriors Life Code, life for me is an acronym, and it stands for live incredibly full every day. And I'd like to say this is the way I live my life, my whole life, but that's not true. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. The screen went black on me, so I thought I lost you there.
No,
So
continue
yeah,
on.
so I turned around and I went through a lot of ups and downs in my life. Mostly in 2008, when the world fell apart financially, I lost absolutely everything, and it took me over a year to recover emotionally, physically, mentally from that. And when I came out of it, I decided, okay, I don't want to be a businessman anymore. I want to do something else. And I decided to become a life coach. And just because, God has a sense of humor, about 2 months before I was going to start life coach training was my 24th wedding anniversary. And my wife said, I'm done. I want a divorce. I'm like, okay, knock me when I'm down. I just still decided to go become a life coach. And I originally became a divorce recovery coach, did that for a few years, helped people recover from the emotional pains of divorce. And a few years later, I was loving where I was in life. I had understood some of the things that had held me back in my marriage, that had my contributions to the positives and the negatives of the marriage. And I changed and I became somebody totally different. And I wanted to show people that they can do that too. So I came up with this life acronym for live incredibly full every day. And then in 2020, something else happened in the world. It shut down. You probably remember that, Julian, when the world
Yes.
shut down.
Try not to.
Yeah, I try not to. So it was March of 2020, and they're like, okay, this is just going to be 2-3 weeks, and then everything will be back to normal. Well, it took a lot longer than that. And it was May of 2020, and I was married again, very happily married for the last 5.5 years. I'm dating myself already, 5.5 years. And I told my wife, let's drive to Manhattan. Let's go to New York City from Brooklyn. So we took our kids and we drove straight up down Fifth Avenue without missing a traffic light. In New York City, that's unheard of. But we did it. And I was like, where is everybody? I don't understand. What is everybody so worried about? And, you could still go outside, wear a mask, even wear gloves, stay 6 feet apart from people, but nobody was out. And I finally understood that people were still worried and I wasn't. And why wasn't I? Because the last 10, 12 years before that, my divorce and all the things that had happened in between had prepared me for anything. So I got onto Facebook and I said, guys, I get it. And I want to show you how to go from being somebody who's worried, a worrier, into somebody who can defeat anything that comes their way, any adversity, and be a warrior. And that's how the Warriors Life Code was created.
It's interesting, Martin, and often adversity is we see it as the worst thing ever, and it takes us a while before we realize that there's a lot of strength that can be forged in adversity, and it can be a really good catalyst for change, because you've got often you're set in your life, and you've got your roots in the ground, and then all of a sudden something can rattle you, and if it hadn't have done that, you would not have taken this new direction, because it's sort of the shock to the system, and you need to reset, and you can find strength in that. And how has it helped your relationships with everybody, this new code that you've developed?
Yeah. So I call myself Martin 2.0 because Martin 1.0 was a totally different guy. Martin 1.0 was somebody who took everything personally. That's one of the things I learned. And most people don't even realize that they do these things while they're doing them. And I was a people pleaser. And as a result of these two things, the other things that came out was, as a people pleaser and that take things personally, I was a control freak. And I also wanted the recognition for all the work I was doing. If I was pleasing somebody, I wanted them to tell me, wow, Martin, you're doing a fantastic job. And when all those things weren't happening, I had a very short temper, and I would blow up like a reactor, like a nuclear reactor even. And I would leave fallout all over the place. And going through this self-transformation of 1.0 to 2.0, I realized how badly this was not serving me, because the old mindset was, well, this is who I am. This is my default tendency. There's nothing I can do about it. So people have to accept me the way I am. No, there is something you can do about it if you believe in it enough, if you want it enough. And that's where I come in. Now, I help people shift their mindset from lack to abundance. I help them shift from self-conscious to self-aware. And there's a huge difference between the two.
Yes. Do you want to tell us a bit about that, the concept of abundance versus lack, Martin?
Right. Absolutely. So the difference between abundance and lack on a very simple level is every time you say I can't, you're giving into the lack. You're saying I give up, I can't do this. If you say how can I, that's the beginning. Or you say I can, even better. But at least if you say how can I, you're giving yourself the opportunity to figure it out. Now, on the deeper level, I came out recently with a card deck, okay, Warrior to Warrior. And one of the cards talks about the difference between self-aware and self-conscious. So, Julian, if you don't mind, would it be okay if I read the card?
Yeah, go for it.
So self-consciousness comes from a place of negative energy, guilt, conflict, and doubt. Self-consciousness is more outward directed. It's being more concerned about what others are thinking of you and about how the situation is going to affect you. You probably react to uncomfortable situations instead of respond. When you're self-conscious, you're questioning your decisions. You're second-guessing yourself, allowing other people's opinions and judgments sway your own judgment. Self-consciousness comes from a mindset of lack, complaining, and blaming. It's basically the ego. All right. And self-awareness comes from a place of positive energy, acceptance, contentment, self-assuredness. Self-awareness is more inward facing. You have an accurate and realistic understanding of how you are responding to situations and how you feel about things. It enables you to approach interactions and circumstances from a more balanced, richer stance. Self-awareness comes from a mindset of abundance, taking responsibility, and gratitude. Humility, basically.
Awesome. I love how you have packaged those concepts into actionable cards. How are the cards to be used in your coaching?
So if you've never heard of me before and you want to just get an idea of what I do, go out and buy the cards, because the cards will give you the basis for understanding the things that I do on a basic level, right? If you want to go a little deeper, then you could go get the book, right? The Warrior to Warrior book, which takes the concepts in the cards to a deeper level. And then if you even want to go deeper, you could get the course, the Warrior to Warrior course, where it's an online course that you do at your own on demand as you're going along to what is happening in your life. And of course, you go further and further by having, one-on-ones with me, group coaching, so on and so forth. But on the basic level, the cards give you the opportunity to get an idea. Now, if you've read the book, you could use the cards as a supplement, as something for when you're out on the day and you're feeling something. Let me pull out a card. Let me see what's going on today and what can help me, fix my whatever's going on in my head.
Yeah, awesome. There's there's so many books and stuff that we read, but I think having that in a card deck and having it in the car when you're just in a funk and you just need to quickly work out, what the problem is. That's a fantastic. I love things that are actionable and useful, and you can actually quickly access them and use them. That's great. So if you want to check out this, so the book is probably the first port of call, Martin, would you say?
Yeah.
So
the book, you can get it on Amazon. Go to Amazon. You could go to connectwithmartin.com, right? And you'll see right there's a link to order the book. I'm assuming that if you're in Australia, it'll take you to the Australian version of it or whatever. I know it's listed in Australia, so it'll be done. You'll be able to get it pretty quickly because the way the book is made, it's print on demand. Somebody orders the book, they print it and ship it. So I'm assuming you guys have Amazon down there, yeah?
We do, yes, and most of the listeners are from US anyway. So if you want,
cool, all right, great, yeah.
If you like what Martin's talking about, check out connectwithmartin.com and get the book, and you can also check out his coaching and also the cards as well. Thank you very much, Martin Salama, for coming on. That was very interesting.
Thank you so much.
No, and well done as well. So keep an eye on the YouTube channel. We'll get you back on the Champions round of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Thanks, Martin, and thanks for listening and watching, everyone. I'm going to wrap things up.